So one of the most burning political questions this week is, will President Cyril Ramaphosa take any action against Tourism Minister Lindiwe Sisulu? Sisulu has been widely condemned, in some instances celebrated, for her column, which questioned the role of the Constitution and, in fact, the role of the law itself. Several civil society organizations and legal bodies have called on the president to instruct Sisulu to apologize. But what is at stake, at least if you think of the ANC elective conference, which is likely to take place in December? Well, let's bring in political analyst Professor Lesiba Teffo, who's with us via our telephone line this morning. Prof, always great getting your take on these issues. Thanks very much indeed for making time. Sisulu, after writing that opinion piece, has kind of been framed as an individual who is trying to appease to the so-called RET faction within the ANC. So the question becomes, how does Ramaphosa take action against her without appearing to be using his power to come after his political enemies?
Yeah, look, it is not an easy one for the president, but equally, if you like, you might say it is, in the sense that he should have, at least as quickly as possible, invited her to the office. And just the politics of that, the symbolism of that, I'm sure would have gone some distance. Like he had done with former Minister Mboweni, who was fiercely independent. But maybe it was easy with him, Mboweni, because he harbored no ambition either way of the factions. But in this regard, maybe treading softly precisely because he thinks that he might be perceived to be trying to ditch his own contenders, or at least to minimize their prospects.
Yeah, it's difficult to look at the situation without considering the kind of year that the ANC is finding itself in, especially when you also consider the voices that have come forward. Ronald Lamola, in some circles, has been bantered about as an individual who could very well be a strong contender, at least for the top 6 of the ANC. What do you read into his adding his voice to the debate?
Yeah. Can I drop this now?
Prof, you can go ahead.
Oh, okay. No, I was saying, well, look, Ronald Lamola, either way you look at it, there will be people for and against.
Yeah.
I think Ronald expressed himself. Same applies to Mantashe. Mantashe equally expressed himself. Now, and they could be holding different or conflicting views. But bottom line is they have positions, and these positions are characterized, informed, or driven by factional positions.
Yeah. You know, you also can't sometimes help but wonder whether even we're paying attention to the right things here. As the back and forth continues around really opinion pieces with, I guess, a lot of things to discuss, questions need to also be asked about whether we shouldn't be focused on the running of the country in and of itself. How does this not become a distraction, given the amount of work that still needs to be done in this country in the lead up to December?
Look, there is no way I think I expressed this view, that unfortunately this is a lost year for the electorate, for the citizens of South Africa, because the first salvo was thrown in Limpopo at the birthday party, and their focus now and even the discussions, I mean, inordinate amount of time is now concentrated on what Sisulu said, right? Right or wrong, that's a different one. But let me not shy away from saying, yes, she had the right to express herself. It is the tenor of her letter that became problematic to me. The Constitution indeed is a living document that anybody can express a view on. But what is problematic with Sisulu and them is that once you assume certain offices, there is what we call the decorum of an office. Based on that, you forego saying certain things in a certain way. There are certain protocols to be followed. And that's where I take issue with her, but not necessarily questioning, challenging, but equally how you address the judges. Because at her level, once you try to delegitimize them,
sure,
and you are making it easy and difficult for yourself tomorrow to say to people, respect the rule of law and the officers of the law.
Professor Lesiba Teffo, political analyst, always great getting your take on these issues. Thanks very much indeed for your time.